For a very long time, I have struggled a lot with finding the right therapist or coach. That was part of it was because of me, part of it is because there's just not a lot of good people out there, in my opinion. So, one of the biggest problems that was inside of me was that I feel like I needed help, but at the same time, I had a huge trigger around people trying to help me. Anything, related to advice, changing me, changing my feelings, changing anything, my thoughts, my feelings especially. All of that, I felt that as a rejection. So it triggered me so much. Even, when I begin talking about it, I can feel my throat closing up. But that has become better, slowly become better over the years, where I became more open to help. But I would say, I'm trying to think, because for maybe 10 years, 15 years, I've gone through a lot of different therapies, different coaches. And maybe I've only had one person who was decent that I was with for maybe 2 years, 3 years. And the reason was because they really focused on acceptance, not coming so much from this place of I need to help him, I need to change him, fix him, but more just coming from acceptance, just really focusing on feeling my emotions, accepting my emotions, being there with the emotions, being present with them, observing them, And that is one of the most important things that I think you should look for in a therapist. That they have this kind of mindset and approach. Especially if you have these kind of triggers that I have. So after that, I went through, I don't know how many years, how many coaches. Part of it was also the problem that I didn't have a big budget, right? So I'm always trying to look for the cheapest options. Because at the same time, another big trigger for me was oh, I'm paying these people all this money. And then in the end, they're not helping me, nothing's changing, nothing's helping. I feel scammed, I feel scammed, I want my money back. But obviously that's not possible with this type of work, so that's why, those were kind of the two biggest blocks inside of me that made it really hard for me to find a good person to work with. So like I said, for many years I tried many different ones, but was my mistake always choosing the cheapest person. And it's not always more money is better quality, but there's still some truth to it, because all the cheapest people, were kind of young people, kind of very inexperienced people as well. And, just not professional, not experienced, all of these things. And that resulted in just them not being able to handle me. Because like I said, I have this huge trigger around receiving help, and at the same time I have this other part that really wants help and wants change and wants all these things, which I later learned that most of this part is just escapism. But you know, when you have these kind of parts and triggers, like I'm gonna challenge the fuck out of any person I work with. I'm gonna challenge them. I'm gonna throw everything I can at them to see. I mean, these are all insights I had from my recent therapist, because recently I finally found one that is actually good. So this insight I had, like I'm doing this unconsciously, but I'm throwing everything I can at the person who's trying to help me as a test. I'm like, throw everything at you just to see how strong this person is, how certain this person is in their beliefs, in their, yeah. So basically what I was always doing is like, I'm testing people by going into this part of me that wants to change, wants to fix, wants to, you know, do all these things. And then I throw it at them and I see if they stay strong or if they go with me, if I can suck them in, if I can suck them into it. And they start to go along with it. That's when I know, that's when I see this person has failed. He has failed the test. And once again, it's a huge trigger for me, because I don't want them to fail. I don't. Like, it hurts so much. I feel such a disappointment when they fail this test. And that came, you know, all the way back from my childhood, when I needed that from my mom or from my family or from my friends, you know. I needed them to stay strong for me. I needed them to stay strong, especially in the belief that, you know, nothing needs to be changed, nothing needs to be fixed. You are okay. You are good as you are. Even if you have all these emotions, all these negative emotions, it's fine. Like, yes, it's very hard, but I am here with you. And I know that we need to not change anything, fix anything. This is normal. This is just an emotion, and it's so hard, but I'm just gonna be here with you, and it's gonna change. Because that's just how emotions are. Thoughts, emotions, they are constantly changing. Unless you try to fix, you try to change, you try to resist, you try to do all this shit. Man, I just lost my whole thoughts right now. So, yeah, I mean, I lost my whole thoughts. But that kind of testing, yeah, I was doing that. People were all failing. And that is why you need a person who is maybe, you know, way more experienced and who is just very strong in these kind of beliefs. Or my current coach or whatever, he doesn't even call it beliefs. He's just like, I just know this because I have experienced this so many times. So I don't even need to try to believe in it. I know it's true. So that kind of conviction, that kind of like experience, that's what you need. At least that's what I need. If you are like as fucked up as me or as difficult as me, these kind of patterns, that's what you need. And sure, you know, it's probably gonna cost some more money, which is very fucked up because once again, this whole system, you know, healthcare, there's no good mental health care system. Like literally, why is the government not paying for this? Mental health problems, trauma, everyone has it. Most of the world's problems are coming from that, from fucked up mental health. The government should be paying for every single person to get the help they fucking need, you know? But it's so fucked up because the only thing that gets covered by insurance is the worst kind of therapies and therapists. I've been through these official therapists or whatever that get covered by insurance. It's the worst ones. They literally get triggered by me so easily, and that they don't even want to see me anymore, or they say, "Oh, I can't help you," or "This is way too complicated for me," or they're I'm sorry to say. So I would say this, you know, just pay a little bit more, get someone with enough experience, with enough conviction, with the right mindset. That's not someone that feels like they need to change, fix, or you can easily like trick them or drag them into that. They need to have some higher level of awareness, presence, and yeah, I wanted to say one more thing, but now I forget again. Just pay a little bit more. Yes, and also, I was also very impatient. That was another thing. Very impatient. Because this part of me is like, well, we need to change this shit. We need to fix this shit right fucking now. You know? Because I've been with this, 10, 15 years, whatever. It's normal, you're fucking impatient. But that part, it's another layer of resistance, And I mean, resistance just doesn't work. Resistance always makes the thing worse. It's never gonna change or fix that thing. It's only gonna make it stronger instead. So you have to change your mindset to adjust your expectation of things are gonna be fast. Change is gonna be fast. Change in life is never gonna be fast with anything you do, Everything takes time. Everything difficult takes time. So you have to try to make that shift. And at the same time, what makes it hard to make that shift is you don't want to feel. You have these certain triggers, these certain, pains. It's like, I never want to feel that. That is too much. That is too much. This is, horrible. This is just unbearable. This is, that's not the reason I go in therapy. I go here to feel better, and now you're gonna make me, and then I hate them. Fuck you, fucking, I'm gonna stop working with you. You're gonna make me feel worse even, But that is all part of it. You have to change that mindset. You have to commit, to not give up. when it gets so hard, when you get so triggered, when you find that thing that you always want to fucking avoid. That's when you have to stay. And you, of course, you need to have the right person who can stay with it as well, who's not gonna freak out by it. But you have to be committed to stay through that. And I'm doing that right now with this person. I encountered all the same trigger that always comes up with the therapist, where I feel so rejected, where I feel so powerless, so hopeless, you know. Nobody can help me. The therapy is not helping. I'm hopeless. Nothing is ever going to change. That was one of the feelings I was always avoiding, because it was so unbearable. But now I'm just staying, and he can handle it, you know. And it's just going through me. Bang, bang, it's just gone. Okay, then comes the next feeling, comes the next feeling, comes the next feeling. But I'm just learning, you know. It's just feelings, and they just come and they go. I can handle it, he can handle it. That's it. I just need to stay. So these are the most important things, you know, I would look for if you're looking for a therapy, a coach, help, any form of help. And I would say, you know, it's worth it, because it's so hard to do it alone. I'm always very, you know, I have this pride, I want to do everything by myself. Asking for help, it's not fun, you know, it makes you feel weak and everything. But you just can't. You can't do everything alone. And it can really help, you know, especially, you know, you're just seeing somebody every week. It gives you so much support, so much guidance, you know. Okay, now I focus on this week I focus on that. Okay, review what has happened, what is gonna go wrong, what we're gonna change, what we're gonna try now. It's so helpful. It's really worth it, you know, to invest in that. You know, it's not waste of money. Okay, you need to be very careful. Choosing the right person can be so hard. Maybe you waste some money with that, but fuck it. Try to waste as little as possible, and just find, you know, a good person, and then it's just worth it. So I hope this helped someone, and see you in the next one.